Well, it all started back when I was about 5 or 6 years old. My Uncle Jerry used to stay with me and my parents. And so one night he had claimed he woke up and there was something really hairy on the back of the couch that he was sleeping on. And he said that he could feel its breath breathing on him. And so he said he looked up and he could see these glowing red eyes. And so he said he jumped back under the covers and was scared to death. And then he said a few minutes later, he regained his bravery or whatever, and he came out from under the covers and the thing was gone. Well, we didn't believe him, and of course we kind of made fun of him for several years until fast forward to when I was about, say, 10 or 11, 12 years old. We had this field outside of our house, and me and about four of my friends, my brother and about four of my friends, we went camping one night. And so we had started a fire, and we had sent one of my friends off to get some firewood. And so he went down this trail, like that was right next to where our tent was. And the exact path that he went down, he had gone to get firewood, and about, say, 4 or 5 minutes later, we heard this noise. It was about three or four of us at the campfire, and we looked over, and this thing jumped out of the field. It was a field that we were in, and this thing jumped out of the field and hovered in the air for about 5 or 6 seconds. And it was exactly what my uncle had described a long time ago. And me and my friends took off running. We ran all the way to my house, begging, beating on the door, begging my mom. This is probably 2 o'clock in the morning, begging my mom to let us in. And so my mom came to the door, and she opened the door, and she didn't believe us either, because it kind of sounds crazy. Well, a few years later, me and my brother and a couple of my friends were at my house, and I had a chow, a dog that was a chow, and so we let him out in the backyard, and he went crazy, like barking and screaming and running around in circles. And so my mom went to the sliding glass door in our backyard to let the dog back in, and she noticed something down in the backyard. And so she screamed out loud, and so we all came running in there, and we looked out in the backyard, and it was this same creature. Hairy, long-haired, ape, monkey-looking, orangutan-looking thing with glowing red eyes, fangs, and my dog was barking his head off at this thing, but wouldn't go down there. So me and my brother decided we went in the pantry and got a bunch of, we hated, my mom used to make us eat hominy, which is kind of like corn. And so we grabbed all the cans of hominy we could find. And so we started throwing these cans at this thing, and it would just go right through it. So obviously whatever we were seeing there wasn't any physical feature. It was kind of like a ghost or something, because the cans were going right through this thing. And we were hitting it every time, but it was going right through it. And so all that to say is what my uncle had seen several years ago, and we made fun of him for years, calling him, scaredy cat and whatever. I saw it, and my mom didn't believe me, and then she saw it several years later, and so eventually we moved away from that house because it was just too much to deal with.